Guys, welcome back. Happy Monday, and welcome to a special edition of Drama Monday. I know I'm delivering drama to you on a Monday yet again. Oh my gosh, I could have never seen this coming, Nick. Oh, you're so good at what you do. Please, guys, come on, please. Now, I do have to say something before I start talking about this. I have to disclose something that may be very important to the story, and that is that in the past month, I know this is going to be hard for you to hear, but I have sort of become a little bit of a MrBeast fan. Oh, stop throwing the tomatoes! Stop throwing the tomatoes! Seriously, guys, put the pitchforks down. Let me explain. I loved jumping on the MrBeast train, the big dog pile before. You know, I love doing it. It's just like an internet tradition that when MrBeast makes some sort of slip up, we all kind of join in, wail on him a little bit. And that's okay. He's the biggest guy on the platform. He's massive. He's huge. He's, unreasonable numbers. But I'm telling you guys, these videos he makes are crazy. And now I will tell you, this is unfortunate for me to say, I am subscribed to MrBeast. Ever since, it hasn't been very long. Ever since he put out, I think this... literally just this video, the second to last video, I watched and I was like perplexed. And as you can see now, I've visited some more of his videos because I'm telling you guys, despite what you may think about MrBeast and the crew and this and that, the videos he makes are spectacles. They're like historical artifacts that we have in the palm of our hand. It's unbelievable. And every once in a while we'll get a little weird one, like he's got the thumbnail with the blind kid and he has his hand photoshopped on the kid's shoulder. The deaf one, the fact that they've got the tears photoshopped on there, it's a little bit much. But you can't help but marvel at some of the stuff this guy does just for the hell of it. He just starts the video and he's screaming.
I just bought this train and it is
like just for no reason. He'll just like drive a train into a big pit. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. Like no one else is putting trains in pits, guys. And all joking aside, these videos are insane. Like he got one person from every country to participate in a big game of the Olympics. He's got them all running across this thing. And sure, maybe there's some geopolitical, pitfalls to making content like this. He got in some controversy last week for, the way that his production team put together all the people from the countries, this and that. That's not what we're talking about today. I just wanted to give you guys full disclosure that I have now discovered MrBeast, and the more I watch, I'm understanding his friend group, the places that they all take. I will say, I do actually think Chris is kind of the GOAT of the MrBeast crew. She honestly has been the best part of their little group of people, and it's great that she's still with the team. I will say that. I think it's nice. Now, does that mean that I'm not gonna still make fun of MrBeast? No, of course not. I'm gonna make fun of him. There are still things that I think are very flawed about the MrBeast system, and I will be sharing with you my opinions on that today. If you know me, you'll be surprised that I'm even laying eyes on a MrBeast video. But honestly, with the amount of effort in production and the amount of people on his team that it takes to put this together, I don't support the goddamn NFL in the way they treat their athletes, right? But I'm still gonna watch the Super Bowl show. I don't know, is it really warranted? Is there any ethical consumption under capitalism? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Seriously, back up, stop, get off. Now, MrBeast doesn't just stop there with these massive videos. He has a channel called MrBeast Philanthropy, I found out, which, he makes videos like we adopted an orphanage or we paid for a free children's hospital, and he's got its big old smiling mug right there on the thumbnail. And apparently he also physically brought water to Kenya on a bike. I don't know how he got that one done, but I guess congratulations. We also have MrBeast Reacts, which is a channel that I've talked about before. If we want to look down at the channel here, it's a lot of things that people, including myself, will criticize as pretty lazy React content. But as you can see, MrBeast has quite the operation going on. He owns a business and they make a shit ton of money. They make videos where he just reacts to things for 10 minutes straight, and every video has 50 million views, 34 million views, 33 million views. The MrBeast era of YouTube is quite the phenomenon, I will say. And it also has inspired the up-and-coming content creators of YouTube as MrBeast has grown into the biggest creator on the site. We have a lot of other YouTube channels, as you guys probably know, that, you know, that like to follow in MrBeast's footsteps when it comes to his process. It has very much gone from your classic home videos to these big, high budget production specials that MrBeast puts out. And it seems to have also upset a lot of people who think that MrBeast's content is influencing a certain type of content creation that is running the site into the dirt, I guess. Long story short, a lot of people think MrBeast has done a lot of bad to YouTube and how it operates, and I guess that's what we're talking about today. Let's just get to the meat of the situation. Drama Alert, everybody's favorite news source, made a tweet that now has 47.1 million views. Don't know if that's true because this website is awful. I will never go on it again. I do not use Twitter. You might as well unfollow me on it because it is bottom of the barrel content, I will say. But if you need drama, you know where to go. This post says, MrBeast goes off on JackSepticEye after he said MrBeast ruined YouTube. And the video that he includes is, I think, a YouTube video from Minecraft YouTuber Tommy Innit, who is doing a lie detector test on JackSepticEye. Let's see what he says.
Now, Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like MrBeast? No.
So, you know, big YouTuber saying this about the biggest YouTuber on the platform. He grew up in this YouTube era where that included a lot of the big legends now, with like PewDiePie and, I don't know, other people, I guess. You know JackSepticEye, he used to make gaming videos. He'd be like, top of the morning, I'm JackSepticEye. I'm gonna go, I don't know. I don't know. He says this about MrBeast. Fair, I think. He's getting a lie detector test put on him. I don't know, what else is he supposed to do?
Jack, do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes.
Okay. You know, another shot taken. Again, he's being asked this in a lie detector test. And he's telling the truth.
Now, in all honesty, Jack, why?
Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
You just don't think you had fun playing Squid Games? You don't think you had fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know.
If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to get me with that one, didn't you?
Who's the YouTuber you hate the most?
I don't know. There's a lot of groomers and pedophiles on our platform.
So, we had a lot of content to digest. And I am going to go through all the arguments here because I do think there's some things that were said in this and in MrBeast's response to all of this that were just like not really good arguments for why either one of them is in the wrong. Today, I am not here to defend any one of them and go on the offense for the other. I know I said I was a MrBeast fan, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to protect him. Unless he reaches out and asks me to be in a video. And, you know, he gives me, you know, my own candy brand. You know, you got Carl Gummies. Why can't we have Nick Wafers? I don't know. So, let's look at what MrBeast had to say about that. He responds to this video and says, so I ruined YouTube because I didn't buy a mansion and sports cars and instead reinvested my money into making content / focused on doing good and inspiring kids to help people? Quote, if he had fun, the videos would be longer. What does that even mean, LOL? You think I'd give up every hour of my life for 14 years if I didn't have fun? Skull emoji. This clip is insanely disrespectful in my opinion, and obviously there's so much I could say about his content, but I'll just take the punches and be the bigger man. Sigh. Now, before we get to the internet's reaction of this whole thing, because people got very upset in this situation for some reason about these two guys who, they've got enough money to like do their own shit. They shouldn't be worried about what each other say about, who cares? Honestly, at the end of the day, this drama is useless. If you're looking for some real content, if you're looking for some real drama that matters, this is not it. But I'm going to talk about it because there's some interesting things that both of them said, and I want to touch on them. Okay, is that a crime? Now, what can we actually look at and argue against? We can't argue against the fact that JackSepticEye doesn't like MrBeast. He can do that. That's allowed. Now he asks if he thinks MrBeast ruined YouTube, and he said yes, which is something that we can, you know, debate on. There can be multiple sides to that, but I think what we specifically need to look at is why Jack said MrBeast ruins YouTube. He said because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun. Now, I will say, I get why people think that MrBeast made YouTube worse. He inspired a lot of creators to do the same thing he does, but with less effort, just trying to flaunt wealth, to do cool things without actually, I don't know, making anything with really any substance or meaning to it. Now, of course, I think that you are partially responsible for the influence that you pass on to people, and I think MrBeast himself has made videos that are purely just to flaunt the kind of power he has with his money and to do cool shit that a kid would do if they had the kind of money MrBeast has. I do think a lot of his videos are dumb and not good, but I also see some of his videos that are like, whoa, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Jack is upset because YouTube has turned into a place where it matters more about the money you have and flaunting that kind of power rather than having fun. And while I do understand where he's coming from, YouTube is about a creator being able to make what they want to create. You're not forced into this pigeonhole where you're expected to make something that you think is fun just because you're on the platform. And even though MrBeast maybe could have foresaw these kind of videos influencing a future of content creators, I'm sure a lot of the stuff Jack made back in the day, he also wouldn't co-sign as a good content for like people on YouTube to consume, I guess. Part of me disagrees with the sentiment that you need to have fun in order to push forward this like positive culture on YouTube. I think it keeps on perpetuating this idea that every content creator is in the wrong if they're making content that isn't fun or exciting or whatever to them. This idea has always pushed this feeling that YouTube can't be used in another way besides pure entertainment for people, when I do think that it has come to the point where this platform is able to give jobs to people and create businesses and help a lot of people doing so. That's not me saying that MrBeast is the one who's done that perfectly, but I think it's kind of it's not a great point to be like, he ruined YouTube because he made videos that cost a lot of money. That always was happening. There were plenty of people doing that before MrBeast. Of course, he brought that level up a lot. I don't know. MrBeast developed this kind of content, and I don't know. I wouldn't really say that it ruined YouTube because it became more about the money and views. The moment that YouTubers started getting paid for things much higher than people expected, that's when stuff started becoming about money and views. On a very small scale, people can say that I don't talk about things that I like. There's people who are upset when I ask my Instagram what kind of topics I should talk about, because there's this wave of people who are like, why don't you just talk about something you like? Why don't you make something that's creatively fulfilling yourself? That's not what YouTube is. YouTube's not a competition to make the best piece of art you can. I like doing this. It's fun to talk about funny things that are going online. I love the drama. I get really invested. I get to have a conversation with people who watch me. And for me, that's fulfilling. And I have other creative endeavors that do creatively and artistically fulfill me. But I enjoy when my videos perform well because people enjoy watching me talk about certain topics and I get to have that conversation. It's a job that I like. And if I'm going to get paid more to do it, I'm going to lean towards doing that. Especially because I enjoy making videos that don't take me a long time to produce, because it's just not how my brain works. I can't really work on a video for a month and put one out. And I really look up to and respect people who do that, but I am unable to make a quality piece of content over a long span of time without releasing anything. That's just how my brain and my focus and my thoughts work and are organized, I guess. Some people can see that as me, I don't know, selling out to like TikTok drama or whatever, but I think I'm having fun. I'm not going to stop doing it if I'm having fun, right? Now, this guy, Jack Manifold, I think, says, you know, what about MrBeast doing Squid Games? You don't think he had fun? And then this was JackSepticEye's response to that.
If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer.
And this is also a sentiment in his argument that I'm not crazy about, because I actually have always enjoyed the way that MrBeast will fit these massive videos that have so much footage into a small amount of time. Like his Squid Game video. It could have been a season of television with each episode being an hour long and interviewing these people and dragging it out. But MrBeast knows his audience. They're a bunch of kids who can't keep their attention on this goddamn screen, and he's got to keep going to the next cool thing and keep blowing shit up if he wants to keep them interested. Now, sure, I guess it's promoting this kind of content that is very stimulating and easy for viewers to watch, but at the same time, that's why people like it, because it's very stimulating and easy for people to watch. There's always something going on, and even if he spends $1 million bajillion dollars on driving a train into the pit, he's not gonna make it last like way too long. If MrBeast wanted the videos to be way longer, he could have them edited way longer. He's not the one who edits the videos. This is so coming off as me being a MrBeast stan, but Trust me, we'll get to MrBeast's argument and I'll give you my thoughts there. At the same time, I don't really think JackSepticEye can say that MrBeast's content has ruined YouTube and made it about the money and views. And I don't know, I'm not trying to say that like there's a wrong way to make content. I just think if you're going to be the one to criticize MrBeast, you can't be someone who just like puts out gameplay videos and shows the funniest TikToks he can find and just like streaming clips of him playing different video games. That's cool to do. I think he's good at doing it. I think he's a good content creator and influencer. I don't know. I do find MrBeast's content probably more exploitative than JackSepticEye's has been in the past, but we've all had those pitfalls of YouTube and we all move and continue to create content as we grow in the space. I don't think MrBeast ever had the idea of ruining the way that YouTubers make videos, and YouTube still gives people the resources to create the kind of videos they want themselves. They're not forcing anybody to make MrBeast style content. I don't feel like YouTube is pushing me in that direction, at least. Now, that's not all I have to say, because MrBeast responded, and this is kind of the main point where I want to come in and talk about what he said. MrBeast kind of has a tendency for when people criticize him in a certain way publicly, he doesn't really like his image being smeared in that way, and he and his fans will go out of their way to make sure you know that they are the good guys. And there's a lot about MrBeast's argument here that I think is pretty flawed, just like Jack's. At the same time, MrBeast, if you want me to be in one of your videos, if you want me to be in one of your challenges, let me know. Just kidding. Okay, MrBeast said, so I ruined YouTube because I didn't buy a mansion and sports car and instead reinvested my money into making content / focused on doing good and inspiring kids to help people. This argument comes off as very black and white, as if MrBeast is like, you can't say that I am doing anything wrong because I put money into making content and I didn't buy a big house or sports cars, and I don't care. You're not a bad person if you buy a mansion. You're not a bad person if you buy some sports cars. And you're not a good person if you reinvest your money into making content, because that's how you made the money in the first place, MrBeast. So I don't really think you're tricking people into thinking you're a good guy by making the content that got you popular in the first place, but doing so with a bigger budget. I think, obviously, that is going to help you out. So I don't really think it comes off as very like, I'm the good guy and you can't criticize me because I give money away to people. I don't care if he gives money away to people. That's why people watch the videos, dude. And a lot of the time when his content does cost a shit ton of money, he has a big sponsor who funds a lot of that to be created. And now you can say he reinvested his money into doing good and inspiring kids to help people, whatever that means. A lot of people bring up how Beast Philanthropy, they donate all of the money they make off AdSense, and they do these great things to help out people on their channel. That doesn't mean that the channel isn't called goddamn MrBeast Philanthropy and it's not still promoting his brand and boosting his image. When you become the size of a creator like MrBeast is, you do things for PR. You do things for good press. Now you can go over to Beast Reacts and say, hey, he's got a 30 million subscriber channel here where they used to literally just react to other people's content without giving them credit or giving them any piece of the profit and then reinvesting that money back into MrBeast. And yeah, just because you're putting that money back into your own content in your own business to continue to grow it even bigger, and just because you donate money, it doesn't mean you're a good guy. It almost seems like because you're weaponizing that against Jack, that you're kind of using these good deeds in order to make your image look better when you seem to be purposefully doing so you look like a good guy. But, you know, to watch MrBeast be like, I put my money into helping people, but then the videos where he's helping people have thumbnails where he's got his arm around a blind kid who can see, and he's like, yeah, look at me, I cured all these kids' blindnesses. Yeah, it kind of seems like you're using that video as leverage to make you seem like a better guy, so there obviously is something in it for you. That doesn't mean that I think that all the stuff he's doing is objectively like a net negative for the world, you know? I'm sure Team Trees and Team Seas and Team fucking give those kids their sight back, I'm sure that they did a net positive, I guess, to the world. I don't know. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't look bad when you're trying to leverage those good deeds for your own self-interest. Now, MrBeast continues and said, if he had fun, the videos would be longer. What does that even mean? LOL. You think I'd give up every hour of my life for 14 years if I didn't have fun? And of course, we're back to this whole idea that, like, you need to have fun for your content. And even MrBeast is, like, kind of following that agenda by saying, you think I'd give up my whole life doing this if I wasn't having fun? And like, maybe, I don't know, once you got really big, I could see how you would put all of your life into it and put years of your life into it, even if you weren't having fun, because you're making a shit ton of money. And just because you don't buy a mansion and sports cars doesn't mean that you don't actually enjoy the luxury that comes along with being a multi-millionaire. Just because you live in your factory and you sleep in a little room and whatever, like Elon Musk does, that doesn't make you like a good rich person. I don't care if you have a big house or cars or whatever. It's the way that you carry yourself and the decisions you make that impact the community and the people around you. And finally, MrBeast says this clip is insanely disrespectful in my opinion, and obviously there's so much more I could say about his content, but I'll take the punches and be the bigger man, sigh. That's another empty argument for me. I feel like this is also trying to be like, oh, you know, I'm going to be the bigger man by saying publicly that I'm going to be the bigger man and not insulting his content, but trying to use the fact that I'm not insulting it again as leverage to make me seem like the bigger man. MrBeast has done this a lot in the past, where he phrases things in a way that make it seem like he really sees himself as like the good guy of the YouTube community, like the best guy. He's the perfect guy. But at the end of the day, like, the answer to all of this is who cares? Make the content you want. This is a business just like any other industry that's out there. It's a business. People are going to make their money how they're going to make their money. And if YouTube likes that content, I think it makes sense. I really do not think MrBeast as a guy is responsible for the way that YouTube has treated their creators and the way that they spend their money and the way that they pay their creators and the way that they use the algorithm to promote certain people. I think that goes on YouTube a little bit more, kind of seeing how this kind of MrBeast style content can specifically be used to profit off of kids who enjoy watching this kind of stuff. And so they push out all the MrBeast clones and now the site is filled with them. The same thing happened every other time there was a golden boy on YouTube. Even when goddamn Casey Neistat was making daily vlogs running around New York, you had a ton of people going out there and getting killed by using like electric skateboards or whatever they're called, hovercrafts. And all of this is fun and whatever, but I want to talk about some of the arguments people have made against one or the other and let you know my thoughts. First, we have a Roblox YouTuber by the name of Albert, who already is saying that he doesn't care about this and everyone's being annoying about it, but initially put out, he posted a couple screenshots that may kind of not look as good against MrBeast. Albert posted a screenshot of MrBeast saying, in order to upload weekly videos later this year, I've been filming every single day and only have a couple days off filming between now and end of the year, and I'm dying mentally. I hope you guys love these videos when they go up. I'm pushing myself to the max to get them done. While on the other side, you see JackSepticEye saying, I've been doing this for close to 11 years and I still get super giddy and excited by new games all the time. Fuck, I love video games. And, you know, shout out to Albert, friend of the show. I mean, I guess he hasn't been on the show, but I don't know. You know, again, this was obviously posted mostly in jest, but I don't think this inherently means that MrBeast is not having fun with his videos. And I don't think this inherently means JackSepticEye. Who cares? I think that people care too much about whether or not the creator themselves are actually loving the content they're making and having the best time ever, rather than just looking at their content and being like, hey, how do I feel about this piece of entertainment as entertainment? Because that's what it is. What is the point in us debating who's having more fun? And also, what is wrong with my Twitter trending thing? It always has insane things on it. But let's see some of the top replies to this. Someone says, I'm honestly with Sean, JackSepticEye, on this. I think some of the stuff MrBeast does is neat and in some cases really helpful to those in need, but it has gotten to the point where I'm not surprised by anything he does anymore. 90% of what MrBeast posts has to do with money too, and as the prime focus of it, he's already proven he can be charitable. He doesn't need to make his charity half his content. Again, I think it's fair to argue that MrBeast does, you know, exploit some of the things he does specifically to have these big videos, because the purpose of these videos is not specifically to do those good things as much as I feel like it's a chance to have some sort of big spectacle on YouTube that revolves around MrBeast doing this crazy thing rather than like the love of the game or whatever. But I don't, again, I think that businesses doing things for their own self-interest or making a piece of entertainment out of the fact that there is such a high production budget for that entertainment, you can't really argue that necessarily it's like an objective bad or whatever. I don't know. But I did save a couple of tweets that I felt like were worth looking at in terms of how people feel about this whole thing. Now, you have someone here saying the guy on the left legitimately believes the guy on the right ruined YouTube. And there are two photos, one of JackSepticEye's, Minecraft videos, gameplay, let's play, whatever. And then a few similar thumbnails. I don't know. This comparison is like weird. I don't know what they're trying to say about it. I guess the idea is that like, he ruined. Honestly, they're similar thumbnails, I guess. This person says, what was his argument? You're showing me thumbnails and titles, and if it wasn't about that, the comparison says nothing. But then this person says that the tweet's in favor of JackSepticEye because look at the length of the videos. I don't think that length of video determines how much fun you're having. If anything, you get more AdSense from your videos being longer. And MrBeast does shoot a shit ton of content. He has multiple cameramans around the entire place. If he wanted to make the video long, he could. It doesn't... I seriously don't get the argument of people saying that him having fun has correlation with how long the videos are. I guess the idea is that you're trying to compress your videos into something that is like watchable for a young audience who has a very short attention span, but I don't think that has a correlation to you having fun with those videos. Mudahar, aka Some Ordinary Gamer, says, I don't see how you can pound your chest this hard when you're also uploading FNAF. I always say FNAF and then everybody in the comments makes fun of me. Okay? I'm not playing some... I don't play games with puppets, guys. I'm not a nerd like you guys. I'm a jock. But he says he doesn't get why Jack could say something like this when he's uploading FNAF/kid gameplay content for kids. Again, I don't really think this gets to the crux of the argument that we're looking at here. Like, I don't think the argument is whether or not making kids content is bad or geared towards kids is bad or putting out a lot of content or whatever. I think the whole thing is very just like subjective to your own tastes. And I think people are taking it a little too seriously. But I get how people could get a little riled up if someone like JackSepticEye, a big YouTuber on the platform, says that MrBeast is outright ruining YouTube by making it about the money and views. The moment that YouTube started paying people off money, actually the moment YouTube started and you got views was the moment that YouTube became about the views, because the views is what lets people have a livelihood. The views is the attention that people get from those videos, and that's what people want at the end of the day. You're always gonna have people who make shit just because they love it, but especially in today's day and age when you're creating content on a website that is a part of this very capitalistic system that we live in, it's hard for your brain to not care about the money and views. That's all you've been told your whole life. That's what your brain is geared towards. That's what YouTube's algorithm is geared towards. That's the kind of content they want you to make because they want to be able to make more money off of it. I hope all this makes sense and it doesn't seem like I'm leaning too hard into one camp or the other. I think overall, I think this is... A lot of people's arguments on this are very... not great. You have another big tweet saying MrBeast shifted the entirety of YouTube culture from nerds having fun making silly shit to let's make as much money as we can off these videos. And in my opinion, I think JackSepticEye is kind of awesome for bringing light to this. Has 71,000 likes. I will say, I don't think that YouTube culture back then was inherently just nerds having fun making silly shit. I know that, YouTube content back then existed in this wild, wild west where we didn't really know the kind of content that performed best on YouTube because it was so new. So there were a lot of people doing different creative things, but that doesn't mean that nerds aren't still making silly shit. I think it just means that YouTube has grown to a size that can hold a creator like MrBeast at this point, and that means that a lot more creators are going to try to make money on YouTube doing things that don't cost them a lot of time and energy and skill, just like me. I don't really have inherently any skill or expertise in an area. I just talk, but I do it because it's easy for me to do. People like when I do it, and I can't do some of the stuff that other YouTubers do, I don't really have the correct resources or the energy allotment required to do that, and I have to live with that and be okay with it. We're not all put on this earth to be like somebody who creates art inherently because they are just in love with that art and no money or attention could ever change that. That's just not the reality of the situation, and it's unfortunate, but I think I don't know, the blame is a little misplaced if you want to put it on MrBeast himself. I do think he has promoted his style of making videos in a way that does come off as very, like content farmy, but that's really as far as you can go in terms of criticizing him for actually ruining YouTube as a whole, I guess. And then we have another tweet that even got bigger that says MrBeast acting like he's not profiting off his shit will never not piss me off. And I do have to agree that I think it's a pretty bad argument to keep consistently acting like you're the good guy just because you've done videos where you've done good. Every time I watch those videos, I'm not going, oh, MrBeast is such a great guy for doing this. Good thing he's such a good guy, a good rich guy. No, I'm looking at the goddamn MrBeast logo on every single video he puts out. His name and face are on all these thumbnails. Does that mean that he doesn't actually care about these things? No, probably not. He probably does still care about doing good things with his money. You know, he brings up, I'm pretty sure, that he's going to give away all his money before he dies or something, which is a very billionaire thing to say. Again, it also goes to refuel this idea that what MrBeast is doing with his money is what a good person would do with their money, when that's just not the case. Quentin Reviews says the most annoying thing about MrBeast is you can't even have a benign criticism of him without people coming down on you. You can't even be like, quote, I find his content annoying so I don't watch. People react like you've committed actual blasphemy. And I think a lot of this is because MrBeast's fans have been with him for long enough where they're kind of in this hole of MrBeast is good because he does good things and he does cool things. And then, you know, when people criticize him because they're going to criticize the biggest YouTuber on the platform, it's like you got to dig that hole deeper. And so, yeah, I would agree that this is always something that MrBeast also perpetuates, because every single time someone criticizes him, he has to come out and be like, I'm actually a good guy. Guys, I'm good. And I'm a guy, and I'm a good guy. You also have people like this Twitter user saying, honestly, I think it's completely valid to dislike the legacy that MrBeast has made on YouTube. You have MrBeast clones killing 5-year-old kids in car crashes, chasing these views. And I don't know, this is like a tricky argument to make, right? You know, like saying MrBeast at the end of the day is the one responsible for a kid getting hit by a car because some dude decided to drive a car fast or something. I don't honestly know what the challenge was. MrBeast getting the dream treatment. Someone says, you, a grown man, are replying to a fan account run by a minor and therefore bringing a lot of hate towards that minor. I don't think that's being the bigger man. As if MrBeast was replying to that minor and not the video about it. And this brings me to the past week when MrBeast in his latest video put out an ad for this thing called Creator League with a bunch of massive creators who were doing this like gaming tournament. And at least one of these creators by the name of Sea-Dog has now dropped out because it has been released that this Creator League thing is backed by like crypto NFT technology with blockchain bullshit and all this stuff. And apparently they weren't warned of this before. And from a, you know, self-described super fan of MrBeast, I watched this ad in his video the other day, and I had no idea that it had anything to do with the blockchain or NFTs or whatever. And if I was a part of that tournament, I would be very upset that it wasn't disclosed to me, because MrBeast has a past of promoting these kind of projects, especially his close friends like Chandler, who is like still doing NFT stuff maybe. At least he was super into it until people shat on him. And so again, this is another thing that's a little bit sketchy when it comes to MrBeast's track record. And I think the fact that he pays and gets these huge creators to be a part of tournaments like this, it specifically holds it back from the creators knowing that it has shit to do with like blockchain stuff. And Austin says that the Creator League account has begun hiding users accusing the company of being a crypto sports gambling business model, and the narrator of the launch video confirms the digital passes are NFTs that will be minted. The hidden reply says they're selling NFTs funded by a $500,000 grant. Someone says that they confirm it's an NFT. It's mentioned everywhere in their terms of service. And I think that's a big red flag to a lot of these creators, a lot of these viewers, and me. I do not like that stuff either. I think it is just a little bit gross and exploitative, knowing that most of these projects end in the people at the bottom losing a shit ton of money while all the people at the top, that being MrBeast, makes most of that money. And so I guess that's where I'll leave it. I don't want the comment section to turn into this like dumb debate about whether or not MrBeast is like killing people or not. I just think that he shouldn't really be boosting his own ego. He should just let what he does speak for itself if he truly does believe that it's a good thing. I get how it feels to have people misunderstand you doing something in bad faith, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you're the biggest creator in the world. You can't be the biggest dude on the platform and like getting mad when people say that you're pulling the culture in a bad direction. But at the end of the day, I'm a huge MrBeast fan. I'm gonna be there for his next upload, and if I'm not there for his last upload, I'm dead. I am dead. Thank you guys for watching this video. I just put out a new music video for my band, Queef Jerky. I'll put it on the screen at the end of this video. You should go check it out. Leave some love. We're making music. We're spreading love. Check out the rest of my channels. He Said Us, Nick Is Not Green, Queef Jerky. I got it all up on the screen. A lot of new content's been coming out, especially on He Said Us, where a lot of you guys have been hanging out. It's very fun making videos lately. I love that I'm able to talk about the dumbest shit on the internet and still have people support what I do and join in on the conversation. I think it's awesome. And for the love of God, when I post videos, can you guys not just like comment right away? Everyone just comments like right as they open the video and then say something that I obviously talked about in the video, but people don't wait until they finish the video to join in on the conversation. I wish YouTube had a better way of sorting comments from people who actually get through the watch time rather than people who just want like invisible internet points on being in the comments. Sorry, I don't mean to call anybody out, but I do think it kind of makes the conversation a little worse when the discussion isn't about what we're actually talking about, but it's just about like, I don't know, some popular take that you know people are gonna like. I guess that's it. I'll see you guys on Wednesday on this channel, and I'll probably see you tomorrow on He Said Us. Thank you for watching. Have a good week. Guys, we're getting through these school weeks. Not me. I'm an adult. But you guys probably are roughing it right now. That sucks. Okay, bye.